Experience starts in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. It begins as a thought, an idea. What if you could make anything? A way to translate imagination into reality. A shape, a tool, a work of art. From pure data, a stream of precise commands to a physical form, built layer by layer with flawless, dimensional accuracy. But to truly empower creation, the tools themselves had to change. Made to last in every aspect, unstoppable innovation. An entire ecosystem built around a seamless workflow, designed not just for convenience, but for independence, where your ideas remain your own, secure, to bring development and manufacturing home, the power to create on your own terms, and it all comes together here, Prague. The world's capital of 3D printing. Please welcome Josef Prusa.
Hello everyone. I hope you all can see me. Under this suit, I have goosebumps, while we've been practicing for this incredible show. It just does not hit without the largest LED globe in Europe, really. And I hope you will enjoy this show. It will be amazing. And hold on to your chairs, because for the first part, I want to invite Ruda, our CMO.
Hello. Thank you. So before we move to the future, I want to look at back of this amazing year. And let's start with MK4S. At the end of the last year, many of you were asking if we're gonna discontinue this printer. And we told you we will let our customers to decide. And they voted. They voted for the printer to stay because it still sells very well. And I'm not surprised, because it features this CHT nozzle, superior cooling. So if you want to print PLA or PETG, it's a true beast and probably the best Cartesian printer on the market. It's also the most portable printer of Prusa. So if I need to take printer somewhere, I just grab it by the steel frame and I can bring it anywhere. And for $669, also ultimate STEM project if you want to build your first printer. Then we actually showed something else last year. That was Core 1, our desktop Core XY machine, which features slightly bigger size. It can also cool the objects as well as open frame, so you can print the PLA very reliably. But then when you need to print those advanced materials like ASA or polycarbonate, it can actually heat up to 55 degrees Celsius. And one thing which we are very proud of, that it has actually received prestigious Red Dot Design Award, making the design instantly iconic. And when I mean iconic, if I show you this today, you immediately know what's behind it. And when I talk about our printers, I have to mention XL. Still, after 4 years, this is undisputed king of 3D printing, true dream machine. Let's be honest, nothing can beat Tool Changer when it comes to multi-material or multicolor 3D printing. My favorite printer constantly when I'm doing something with CAD, because it constantly teases my brain what I can do next, how I can push the boundaries of 3D printing with these TPUs, mixing PETG, PLA, and etc. Actually, last year we said one thing. We are not trying to be any other brand in the world than Prusa, the legendary brand of 3D printing. And it works. Our customers value our standards, security, quality. So actually, our category of MK and Core is now plus 20% year over year, and we are still before the Black Friday, so we actually believe it will even improve. And our sales also shifted more to the assemble printers, basically saying that we are no more just a tinkering brand. Yes, you are welcome to tinker. We still provide amazing kits and amazing experience, but we sell a lot more assembled printers. And I'm not surprised again, because we provide the best out-of-the-box experience on the market. All these nuts, bolts are just sign of the quality, repairability, and also one unique thing which we have just in Prusa, that's upgradability. Quite often when we speak with Joseph, people actually believe that we are a company built just around a single printer, the iconic i3 design. But in fact, we might be the only company in the world which sells Cartesians, Core XYs, and Deltas, plus we also do resin printers, all manufactured and designed in-house. And there are many more, right, Joe?
Ruda had a point. And it's not just the types of FDM printers, but what we are absolutely unique in this world is that we are fully integrated. When you look at the machine, you can imagine there's an electronics, but that piece of a printed circuit board is designed in one building. The electronic engineers, I see one of our PCB designers here. But when we have the design just 2 floors down, we manufacture it. That is unique by itself. But at the same time, in the same building, we code the firmware. That is the software which runs on that printed circuit board and controls the machine. Really, 100 meters from my office, we are manufacturing our own PCBs. Just that alone is not something which is common. But what feeds that electronics, that is done by the software for data preparation. We call it Slicer in our industry. We have 13 people who are every day, all day, making the best slicer. And what we have to prove, the whole industry is using our slicer as a base for the FDM 3D printing. We also make the parts. All of you have seen our farms. We make it either in-house, we will get there, but if we cannot make it in-house, we make it in European Union. We assemble it, but we also distribute it all around the globe. We ship regularly to more than 100 countries every month. After you get our machine, we also do the support. We have over 100 people in our customer service, and we do 7 languages 24/7. That is unheard of. And we are now talking just about the FDM machines. We do the same for SLA and for the materials. We have material development, manufacturing for both FDM and for SLA. So let me get to our farm. Many of you have seen. So this is our legendary farm, the biggest in the world, certified by the Guinness Book of Records. Okay. The fact that we are printing our parts is how we get the reliability, because every week we can get millions of print hours, and the experience, if we mess something up, we have to, live with the consequences. That is why you can always rely on our machines. But at the same time, farm was never the bottleneck for our manufacturing. It never slowed us down. However, on those core ones, you can see some parts are injection molded. So if we can move to the next slide. in our mission to integrate, we also do injection molding. Let the video play out, and then I will talk about it. This is our biggest injection molding press. It is 1,200 tons. Between those two injection mold halves, 10 adult male can fit and can be squeezed to a goo. In this video, you can see, you feel like one of the Prusament spool halves. Don't look up. It is scary. But as I was talking about the integration, this is part of a new factory we opened last year. I'm not sure how many of you noticed, but it is over 5,000 square meters. New factory. We have over 30 Prusament lines here in Prague. It used to be here, or I mean in this neighborhood, just a year ago, but we needed to scale up. And part of that is not just the extrusion lines, compounding lines, but also injection molding lines. And this is the biggest, baddest one of them. We have 5 more. But let me use this this time to share something which we did not share publicly just yet. In our quest of integrating everything, we just 2 or 3 weeks ago finished an acquisition of a new factory which specializes in making the molds for injection molding. So we are integrating that too. But that is not the only factory we are opening. We, in next 2 or 3 weeks, are opening a new factory in Hradec Králové. That is another 5,000 square meters. That is the birthplace of Prusa Pro HT90 and other industrial machines. And that is still not everything. We just a couple months ago opened 10,000 square meters in Wilmington, Delaware. Where is David? Over there is our CEO of US operations. Wilmington, Delaware, 10,000 square meters, 99,000 square feet of freedom units. That is a pretty big place. This is just a small portion of it. Nothing beats coming in there. I know we have people from all around the globe. We will do, and we do, visits as we did here in the United States. So we would gladly welcome you. With this, let me introduce. Where did I get?
I always say, when you want to see true passion for 3D printing, come to Prague. You will see thousands of printers, not just in the farm, but actually spread around our offices. The most important fact is that we actually want to produce 3D printers which we want to use by ourselves. And we want to shape also all the world of 3D printing around it, because we not only doing it for you, we're also doing it for us. And we want to have the world which is open. And last year we said we will not only preach it, but we will also do it. Printables were always open to everybody else. But last year, first drop in the sea, we actually opened the slicing button so you can directly slice from Printables, not only to PrusaSlicer, but to all other slicers like Orca, including the bamboo slicer. And then later in a year, we actually introduced innovation which is called the EasyPrint. First, cloud slicing, so you can actually slice directly from your mobile phone. For me, personally, this is as important launch as Core 1, because it again further improved that unboxing experience for anybody new. You just basically unpack the printer and you connect it to Connect, and you are immediately able to start sending models from our large database of printables. It's literally seamless. So it became actually new market standard. A lot of people were asking for it, not only the Prusa users. And we did something extremely bold. We allowed EasyPrint to actually slice for the other printers as well. Only problem with it at the moment is that you have to kind of hack it to transfer the files. And this is not the last thing we're gonna do about the open world of 3D printing. So, to tell you more about it, let me invite Mikola Zuza, head of our content.
Hello, everyone. Thank you. Thank you very much. I'm here today to talk to you about something we are really passionate about right now at Prusa. I think from these visuals all around you, you might already take a guess of where I'm heading. But first, I would like to make a case for smart spools and why we need smart spools in modern 3D printing. 3D printers have become way more user-friendly over the last 10, 15 years. I think it's in a huge part thanks to the relentless work by Joe and the entire team at Prusa. 3D printers are now tools rather than something that has to be your hobby. Modern 3D printer does so many things on its own, but something that's still very manual is the filament interaction. So if we are to change that, and if we are to improve the user experience and the workflow, we need smart spools. First and foremost is material and color recognition. That alone eliminates a ton of clicking through menus and even user errors. We make our signature orange color in all the different materials. So it's very easy to grab a spool, think it's PLA, and it's actually PETG. If the printer can talk to the spool, this eliminates the problem entirely because the user is basically not involved and we don't give him the opportunity to make a mistake. Another big one is tracking remaining filament. It would be excellent to always know how much filament is left on the spool without having to unload it, weigh it, put it back. Because, when you start to print in the evening, you really want it finished in the morning, and it sucks when you come in the morning and there's 10% of the print left and you need to change the spool and the print takes an hour to finish. But there's a case to be made even for businesses. People who print in companies, people who print on demand, people with Etsy stores. I'm pretty sure all of them would love to have a digital material library, an inventory system, easily having a way to know how much of each filament they have left over if they're running out of some color or material. And also even traceability. It would be amazing if we could pair 3D prints to specific spool of filament. Well, most spools these days are dumb. They have no way to communicate with a 3D printer at all. There are a couple of smart spools here and there, but to be honest, their approach is just fundamentally wrong. Every company who tries to make a smart spool creates their own locked proprietary system. The tag itself is typically just a little RFID sticker containing just an ID. And the printer has to read that ID, connect to some cloud over the internet, and retrieve the information about the spool. The tag itself is read-only, like I said. It has just the ID or some basic information. The filament doesn't know how many grams is left on it. You can't update the information. So it's a bit like if every 3D printer manufacturer decided to use their own filament diameter. And to me, it reminds me everything wrong with Office, 2D paper printers. If you've ever owned an inkjet printer, I'm sure you know what I'm talking about. You have the experience. You're running late. You really just need to print that one black and white document. You send it to the printer. You run at it. It stares you straight in your face and blurps out on that little screen. I'm out of magenta. So unfortunately, this is a lot where smart spools in 3D printing are heading. And the result is that the consumers are either forced to only buy the filament from their printer's brand or give up on the smart spool functionality altogether. Our answer to that is called OpenPrintTag. OpenPrintTag is our open source initiative to end the wild west of smart spools. Really big thing about it is that it's writable. It contains all the most important information directly on the spool. So when a print finishes, the printer itself can update how much filament is left on the spool. That means it works offline by design. It doesn't have to connect to some cloud service. It just knows even when the printer is not connected online. Of course, you can really enhance the experience with more data in the libraries when the printer is online. The critical thing is that it's completely open source. It's totally free. There are no licensing fees. If OpenPrintTag is to be adopted by the whole market, it needs to be open source and expandable with new, information which each manufacturer might want to have in. And another important thing is that the tags themselves are inexpensive and they can even be reused. I will get back to that. It's actually really cool. So that's the, let's say, software architecture. But even the hardware is really, really cool. The tags themselves are a big circle. Oh, you can see one right over there. So if we used the little RFID sticker, you put the spool on the printer, and the printer has to rotate the spool into one very specific orientation where the sticker aligns with the reader, and that's the only time they can talk to each other. These days, people use big spools, 2-kilo spools, or even bigger than that. So now you have one sticker on each side. And when a print finishes, let's say you would want to update the sticker, the information on the tag, you would flash it on one side, then you have to remove the spool, rotate it, put it back on, align it, and update the other sticker. Otherwise, you would have the information out of sync. OpenPrintTag is a big circle. As soon as you get the spool close to the printer, to the spool holder, it can read the information right away, instantly. It can do this at any time. The antenna is so big that even with a 2-kilo spool, we can get away with just a sticker on one side. And even when you put the spool on, the other way around, further away from the reader, it can just read the information through the spool. I mentioned reusability, and we even thought about uses outside of the 3D printer. So we are ready to offer inexpensive blank tags, get 5, 10 of them for a few dollars or euros. And you can stick those to any filament you own. You just use your mobile app, you flash the tag, and your dump spool is suddenly smart. And it's reusable. So, if you buy a spool with an OpenPrintTag, afterwards you can remove it, put it on another spool, flash it with the phone, and you can, keep reuse them over and over. So the vision is that we will have smart spools, which are universal. They work across all brands. They are transparent for the users. They are future-proof because the standard is expandable. And just like 1.75 millimeter is the standard for filament, OpenPrintTag is here to be the standard for smart spools. If OpenPrintTag is to get traction, we need millions of spools in circulation. It actually needs to be around. We need backing from a major manufacturer. Well, starting today, every spool of Prusament that we manufacture has an OpenPrintTag on them. Okay, but that's us. Well, it's not just us. We have partners in major manufacturers who are either already testing OpenPrintTag or who have shown interest in OpenPrintTag. So you can look forward to see OpenPrintTag in more and more spools over time. This all actually aligns with a release of our new Prusament spool. Of course, big thing about it is that new NFC powered by OpenPrintTag, but it has a couple more tricks in its sleeve. You can just, that's weird to do with a microphone. twist with a satisfying click in the end to unlock the spool, so that allows very easy refills. We thought a lot about improving the drying experience, especially with high-end polymers. Typically, it's a great idea to dry them to get the best printing result. So this spool stays secure even all the way up to 100 degrees Celsius, which is way harder than you typically need for drying most materials. And the spool itself is slightly slimmer, which is nice because now it integrates nicely with basically every multicolor system on the market. All of this is a culmination of the rapid development and innovation we are doing with Prusament. Just a few weeks ago, we had an event in our HQ where we released the Prusament PC Space Grade Black. That's a special ESD-safe filament developed for the space industry. We released the polypropylene filled with glass fiber used by labs for its chemical resistance. We have the TPU 95A. We like to joke in the office, now that's a flex. No, really, that's the most user-friendly, flexible filament I have ever used. The prints from it, it's flex, so it's basically indestructible. But it is really easy to print with, almost as if you were using a rigid filament. We have our PGV0, that's a self-extinguishing filament used, for example, by German trains when they can't get the spare parts anymore. We have our wood fill. That's a beautiful polymer filled with wooden dust, and it's great for home decor and aesthetically pleasing models. It's one of the few filaments that I have allowed to have prints from it at my home from my wife. It gets the wife pass. We have our PEI 1010. That's on the very high end of polymers. That's a material with its properties somewhat similar to aluminum, and just if you look at its properties, it can be used in the aero industry. It's also self-extinguishing, so you can find it in planes. I can't forget our PTG tungsten radiation shielding filament. It's used by hospitals to transfer samples, and I'm also pretty sure some of it is in the orbit as a special custom shielding between antennas. And we have our PA11 nylon carbon fiber. I'm pretty sure that's still the only PA11 on the market in a filament form. Typically, PA11 can only be found in a powder form for very expensive SLS machines. So that's Prusament, that's OpenPrintTag, that's our innovation. I hope I was able to share at least some of my excitement that I have for this. And now I would like to invite Joe, because I know he has a passion project that he would like to talk to you about. So please welcome Joe back on the stage.
Hello again. The next thing we are going to show is really my personal passion project. It has been in the making for at least 6 years, because our father, my brother, is over there. We founded it together, and our dad helped us a lot. He was a carpenter, furniture maker, and when we were tiny kiddos, we've been playing with, just little pieces of wood instead of Legos. So we are very familiar with the tactile sense and the smell of the wood, and we love it. But at the same time, many of you who are in the 3D printing longer remember that, for example, the i3 had by design versions which were made out of plywood, but even outside of Prusa, Ultimaker, MakerBot, plywood and wood was the default material to make machines out of. But the industry moved a different way. However, I remember, I love 45 degrees angle. So I was one day sketching how I could make a box out of wood to make a very... You will see in a bit. And I'm not sure if I see Dominic here. He turned with my most talented guys from Prusa Lab. He turned my sketch into a prototype. Back then, those 5 years ago, it was with Prusa Mini inside. But last year, I realized we could maybe make it better. And I pushed the right people, and we've had a little special thing we did not talk much about during the last Farm Next, but the feedback was so massive that we knew we opened a completely new part of 3D printing industry. And with that, I would like to introduce our new 3D printer. Please play the video. Hello, I'm Joe Prusa, the CEO of Prusa Research, and this is Signature Oak, an exclusive limited 3D printer enclosed in a wood from 100-year-old oaks. It blends cutting-edge technology with traditional Czech woodworking skills. I grew up with scent of sawdust. My father was a carpenter, and his workshop was my world. I remember watching his hands, shaping raw timber into something beautiful, time and time again. There's an honesty to working with wood. It's physical and demanding. There's nothing quite like it. When I started building 3D printers more than 15 years ago, it felt similar in many ways. Some models even had wooden frames. But the industry moved on, chasing steel and plastic. Still, I had this idea in the back of my mind, to blend the technology of 3D printers with the soul of traditional craftsmanship. That's why our partnership with the Jelinek feels right. Like us, they are family business, and our families have known each other for years. Their legacy is built on 120 years of honest hard work. They use only the best materials and process them with the experience perfected since 1897. Together, we've taken the components of a Prusa printer and wrapped them in a beautiful handcrafted wooden enclosure. And we are only making 250 of these, each personally signed. This is a celebration of manual work, of premium quality, and traditional Czech craftsmanship. It's the most beautiful 3D printer we have ever created. You know, when I see it here, it hits much harder than when we've been rehearsing it. Because, you know, one of the coolest things when we were trying to bring this to production was to hear the stories about our father at Jelinek's offices. You know, they were telling us, the guys who worked there for 35 years, that us as little kids were running around, and the stories about our father who is not with us. It was really special. And I would love to dedicate this machine. My brother is over there, to our father, who can't be with us here today, but I think this is the most beautiful 3D printer ever created. We are making just 250 of these. Each one of them is unique. If somebody is interested in getting one, please reach out to us and we will tailor it to your taste and to make you happy. And now I would love to invite Stepan on stage from content team and also known as my stunt double.
Hello everyone, I'm here today to tell you a little bit about the Core 1 and also to remind all of us that unfortunately time does fly, because in 2 or 3 weeks it's going to be a year since we introduced the Core 1. our first fully enclosed Core XY 3D printer with some cool design tweaks. With every printer release, with every new release, there's this indescribable feeling, mixed bag of kind. You get a sense of relief that the work is over and it's going out to the world. Also, there's this anticipation, like, what will they say? What will they say? What will they say? And there's also fear. Will they like it? Is it good enough? Is it as good as we think? Well, turns out that the Core 1 did quite okay. Even better than okay, actually, because it received some very, very favorable reviews. Yeah, nice reviews, like I said. And even though it's on the market for less than a year, it reached so many workshops, schools, universities, companies even, like Volkswagen, Siemens, NASA, SpaceX. And the very same printer that you and I have, most of you have at home, that one is being used at this very moment somewhere around the world to teach the laws of science, to unlock the mysteries of the universe, or to create a better car, better tool, or to conquer space. And I think that's so awesome that 3D printing and 3D printers have reached this stage. And not to mention that the Core 1 looks fantastic in any environment, in the workshop, in the laboratory, and even at the office. I tested that thoroughly myself. And apparently, I'm not the only one who thinks it looks great, because it received the prestigious Red Dot Design Award. But design's one thing, even though this means the printer looks as good as it performs. The Core 1 is precise, fast, and reliable. Those are, in 3 simple words, in our humble opinion, qualities every good 3D printer must have. So we took these as a foundation and we added the exoskeleton, the ability to print all sorts of advanced materials, amazing open source software, and we sugarcoated that with 100% privacy. So that's put all together. That's a fantastic printer, and that's the Core 1. And by now, you should already be asking yourself the $1 million question. How do you follow up on a printer like that? Lucky for us, we have the guy who knows the answer to that question. Joe?
Well. I will not leave you hanging for long, because we have a great video about the new machine and I would like you to see it. So let's start the tape.
Hi, I'm Joe Prusa and this is the Core 1L, our big enclosed Core XY 3D printer with a brand new convection AC heat bed. It is perfect for any engineer's desk, workshop, prop makers, and just about anyone who loves 3D printing. It gives you the power to print massive, durable models in one piece and the freedom to use both decorative and high-performance materials.
Meet the Core 1L, the larger sibling of our proven Core 1 with added features for reliable large format 3D printing. We doubled the print volume to create the sweet spot for any kind of project. You no longer have to cut up your models and glue them together. And what took 6 prints before, you can now complete in 2. And it gets better. You get twice the print volume, but the printer itself is only 10% larger. It's big on the inside and compact on the outside, so every maker and every engineer can have it right next to them. We kept the unrivaled exoskeleton design, so the printer is robust, sturdy and rugged. One of the best features of the Core 1L is the brand new heat bed with convection heat distribution. We designed it to solve one of the biggest problems in large format printing: uneven heating and cold corners. When it comes to perfect heat distribution, nothing can beat a proper solid block of aluminum, and this is exactly what we used. It is a thick block of cast metal with a dual loop heating element that delivers uniform heat across the entire surface. There are no colder spots that would cause parts of your models to warp and lift, and despite its size, it heats up 25% faster. But we did not stop there. The new heatbed is equipped with 2 fans on the underside, which force air against the heater. Specially designed air deflectors then redirect this concentrated stream of hot air, spreading it out evenly. This way, the chamber warms up faster and up to 60 degrees Celsius to create a stable environment even for printing with advanced materials. And this is also why the printer comes with 2 nozzles in the package, high flow and hardened. So you can print parts that will be exposed to UV and harsh sunlight, quickly iterate the jigs and fixtures, print large flexible parts for extreme wear resistance, plus chemical resistant prints, ESD-safe materials, radiation shielding polymers, and more. And, of course, PLA for quick prototypes and advanced hobby projects. The Core 1L always creates the best environment for the job. The extruder opens or closes the top vent automatically, so you can print PLA and PETG with the doors neatly closed. Additionally, a physical switch is available for easier loading of flexible materials. We are taking the ease of use one step further. The printer comes fully pre-calibrated from the factory as a zero setup machine. Simply pull it out of the box, click the display in place and plug it in. That's it. No tinkering, no tweaking, no need to go through any calibrations. The Core 1L leverages our unique phase stepping for smoother stepper motor movement, reducing vibrations and noise. Input shaping cancels out vibrations coming from rapid movement changes and is tuned for maximum quality. Paired with PrusaSlicer's new consistent surface option, the printer delivers flawless, dimensionally accurate parts ready for final use, so you can skip the lengthy and expensive process of injection molding. The MMU3 add-on allows efficient, low-waste, multi-color printing of your large format projects, and it's a solution that works with any filament spool on the market. You can manage a single printer or an entire print farm from anywhere with our connected ecosystem. Prusa Connect is the command center for remote monitoring, print scheduling, team management, even for tracking running costs and ROI. And the Prusa app brings this power to your phone, and it also features EasyPrint, a powerful online slicer, so you can go from idea to print entirely on a mobile device. The 1080p camera lets you monitor prints in real time, even in complete darkness, and easily generate time-lapse videos. But connection is always optional. You can run the printer completely offline. You never have to connect it to the internet, not even once. You can even physically remove the Wi-Fi module. Everything is simple to use and, above all, secure. A critical part of that security comes from the electronics, which we manufacture ourselves on the PCB assembly line at our Prague factory. The majority of components are also sourced from within the European Union. And finally, every printer is carefully assembled at Prusa manufacturing facilities in Prague and Delaware, USA. The firmware is open source and our ecosystem is free from restrictions. That means no vendor logs and no walled gardens. We believe that the hardware you buy belongs to you. That is why you have total control. Our printers always had removable radios and cameras for secure development and critical infrastructure. We already offer air-gapped XLs on request for businesses, and starting with the Core 1L, we are making such a version for critical infrastructure generally available. It uses a custom manufactured mainboard without the Wi-Fi connector and related circuitry. It comes with an encrypted, certified USB drive compatible with our platform, and we provide letters of volatility. Our printers are made to last. The Core 1L's robust exoskeleton is engineered for a constant 24/7 workload. The most common maintenance is highly optimized, and we guarantee spare parts availability for at least 5 years. And getting to know the printer is easier than ever because you're also getting a comprehensive Prusa Academy online course, which covers printing, maintenance, and best practices in detail. Perfect for onboarding new employees or for education. And when you do need help, you talk to a person. Our 24/7 live support in 7 languages is staffed by experienced operators, not AI bots.
So that's the Prusa Core 1L. I'm incredibly proud of what we have accomplished here. It's compact on the outside and big on the inside. You get the next generation heat bed with 0 cold spots, an active convection heated chamber, high definition camera, and MMU3 support. If you are looking for a machine you can set up in a few minutes and won't limit you in any kind of project, the Core 1L is a safe bet that checks all the boxes.
I love that this opportunity is here because I want to introduce to you the bigger sibling to Core 1, the Core 1L. Look at me next to the machine. I'm tiny, the printer is big. So, joking aside, one of the things we've heard the most, Joe, it is awesome, but we want it bigger. We made it bigger, the size of the bed and the print volume is 300 by 300 by 330. And actually it is exactly double the print volume of Core 1. And just when we were preparing for this presentation, we found out it is so amazingly efficient that the printer is just 10% larger than the normal Core 1. It is amazing. But when we gave ourselves the limits how big the machine can be, we wanted to make sure that it could still be at your home office table or at any engineer's table. Because at the scale where everyone can have it, then it matters. But now, I think we should get in.
Wow. Have you ever been inside a 3D printer? It looks awesome, right?
This does not get old.
Wow. I see we kept the exoskeleton design.
Yes, it is there. And I think a lot of people are trying to quickly scan everything around them. What are the differentiating things? But we will help you out. So let's strip the paint of some of the parts to give you a hint.
Is that aluminum?
It is. It is. Even though the machine is much bigger, we managed to keep the weight same. And it is, some of the parts are made out of aluminum, right? And it actually weighs the same as the normal Core 1.
The weight thing is important. If, for example, you have a boss that sends you to events and fairs all the time, you have to manipulate with the printer. What else is made of aluminum?
Well. We see a tiny bit, but let's rotate the view.
That's a new bed?
That is a new print bed. And, nothing beat just a chunk of aluminum with heat conductivity and efficiency and speed snappiness. That is one thing. But you also can see the industrial magnets, which really, together with our really thick print sheets, prevent lifting up of the print sheet without you wanting to. But still, I think, this is not our first AC heat bed. That was on the HD90. But this one is the first with moving bed, and we do not have enough time for that, but I will obsess over it later today. However, I want to say at least one thing. The mains cable coming to the bed are shielded, and if you want to cut through them with a knife, you will not be harmed.
I think there's more magic happening under the bed.
Yes. Okay.
See that?
That is the first again. Look up and you will see.
Ooh.
Yes. You see that the print volume is 300 by 300, but also, little disclosure, the fans do not glow like this normally. But I love the efficiency and clever design. So if we have a giant AC heater in the printer, let's find a way how to use it more than once. And I would like to tell you that we are the first ones to have convection heated. Yes, this is the diagram. We are double using the heater in the bed with the fans, and with that we are much faster to heat up the print volume. It is much more reliable and much more efficient. Also, the less parts you use, the less parts can break. That is how we get the incredible reliability we are getting with our machines.
Oh, and please tell them about the grill.
Yes. Let's get to the other side.
Look up.
So, from our Core 1 that we have the grill. Now, it opens automatically. The print head just opens it and closes it.
Yeah. The printer can actually automatically create a perfect environment for any advanced print, no matter what you use, ABS, PC carbon fiber, nylon, TPU. No, it's not
TPU. The cost of doing cutting edge presentation.
It worked when we rehearsed. It was a fantastic pun.
No, it is okay. We just need to get to the slide. Well, the angle of view prevents us to see the part. Oh, finally.
Now.
Behind you, you can see the print head, but that is not the main part of the show. Can I have the star of the show in the front? Okay, let me reorient myself. So, this is where normally on the Core 1 is the filament sensor, but here you can see there's a switch, and that switch is specifically made for loading of TPU. And when you flip it, there is no other Core XY machine on the market where you can load it easier to the extruder. And meanwhile, you can savor the details of the exoskeleton design of our machine and the grill.
Many of you may have noticed that the printer is actually equipped with a full HD camera with night mode. That means you can watch your prints whenever and from wherever, or you can get creative and position the camera so you can see the world as the printer sees it.
You know, everyone, this is how beautiful all of us look when we come and watch our 3D prints every 5 minutes. That is how the 3D print feels while it's being printed and watched at the same time.
You can take a selfie with Joe if you want. You won't have a better opportunity than this.
Man, no one wants to take a selfie with me.
I do.
I'm just being printed right now. This is the first, right?
Developers! I would like to take a second to thank all the developers or the designers, software engineers, everyone involved in getting the Prusa Core 1L to life. So please, one more round of applause for them.
I forgot this information in the beginning. There is now 1,200 of us here in Czechia and almost 100 in United States. So really, there's a lot of people behind this machine. But back to you, Mickey.
This machine goes on sale on our eShop on the 31st of October. It starts with an introductory price of $17.99 USD. That's with all the duties and all the tariffs already included, and €16.99 with VAT included. So that's the Core 1L. That's the hardware. You know, you can make huge leaps forward with the hardware. But I think in the past we've shown several times that you can make sometimes even bigger leaps forward with the software. So, okay, software. First of all, that's the firmware that's running on the printer. We made it ourselves. But that's also the slicer. I'll give you a second to take it in. This is the first time we are revealing PrusaSlicer 3.0. If you've ever used PrusaSlicer before, I think you can already start to see some differences. Okay, so it has a brand new look. But that's not all of it. We took the best UX designers. We went through the slicing process from start to end. You know, we've been adding features to PrusaSlicer on and on and on, but, you know, it's good sometimes to take a step back and, you know, do it a little bit from the scratch. So if you look closely, you will find some brand new features and even, you know, different workflows, how to use PrusaSlicer. My favorite one, oh my God, I'm looking for this so much. If you look at the top, you know, tabs for projects. No more 10 instances of PrusaSlicer running at the same time. This will be awesome. So this is the first look at PrusaSlicer 3.0. You can look forward for more for closed and open betas early next year. Joe, did I forget to mention anything amazing about PrusaSlicer 3.0?
There are some things which we are revealing, but it is very intentional. And at the same time, we are hiding so much. But anyhow, just by the looks of it, I think you can understand that this is the first foray into the HD slicing. Thank you.
And
And
there was one more thing in the video which might have caught your attention.
yeah, and there's one thing I sort of came back to it from the video.
So I leave it to you.
And I bet that after you watching the video, there is one thought, at least in some of you, which is lingering. And that is the critical infrastructure Eddition. So, I would like to get back to it. What is the critical infrastructure? Anyways, it is nothing new for us. We've been doing this for ages. For the ones who are following us, you know that we've been having removable radios for years. Same for the cameras. But critical infrastructure are those parts of our society which, if they are stopped or grind to a halt, our life really suffers. It is education, transportation, energy, defense, schools, universities, etc. And we've been doing this for years. And the standards are different level than what you normally see at the shows all of us attend. Most of you know that when you go to the hospital and you want to give your doctor an MRI scan, you go to a different place. It is not possible just to hand them a USB drive. It just does not work like that. And I would like to share with you how places like such places work. It is. The printer is always air-gapped. It never saw the internet. It never saw a USB signal directly connected to the computer. The same applies for the computer. It never saw the internet. And it is not just those industries I told you about. It is the secure development of the companies which are keeping us at the edge of the world. You know, the Apples and other companies. And I feel that if you look at it, 3D printing is great and it grew. Everybody here in this room is hyped about it. But the reality is that nowadays, us here in Prague and in Delaware, we are the last man standing who can supply any meaningful number of machines in European Union and United States, and not only a meaningful amount at reasonable prices. We, with our critical infrastructure edition, we are not charging more. We are reasonable because it is our duty, if we are the last man standing, to follow up with this and provide the technology for every one of us. So that was very important to me. And in the context of the show, you think this is the last, final thing. But no, we are going to show you a completely new additive manufacturing technology you've never seen before. And I would like to invite Stepan back on the stage.
Thank you, Joe, and me again. And now's the time for something completely unexpected. I'm here to talk again about a printer, and this time I'd like to tell you a thing or two about the Prusa XL. Rudel already mentioned that it's unbeatable because it's the first machine on the market that introduced the powerful tool changer. We have the data, and when you look at it, you will see that 50% of our customers went straight for the 5.2 XL. The other half is divided between 2 tools, 35%, and just 15% was okay with 1 tool. Seems okay, right? But what if I tell you that you can buy the tools separately and you can configure the printer to your very needs? The plot thickens. Because when you put the data together, you will see that those 15% became 10. Those 5% of our customers upgraded. So did the people who bought the 2 tool XL. And over 58% now run a 5 tool operation. And correct me if I'm wrong, I wasn't very good at math. But these two numbers, when you add them together, that's 90. And that means over 90% of the XL owners, for them, multi-tool 3D printing is the thing they want. That's actually awesome because we thought of the XL from the very beginning as the platform we will support long-term with the hardware upgrades. I talked already about the toolheads. We provide and published many additional accessories, and over the last 2 years, we enhanced the printer's capabilities immensely through software upgrades. We added input shaping for speed. We added face stepping for smooth and silent operation. And now, as Joe teased and robbed me of my moment of suspense, we're adding a completely new technology, a new add-on that will allow you to print with non-FDM material. I hope you're curious, and let's show you.
I have to say, from my point of view, it is really obvious to distinguish people who are too deep in 3D printing because their faces are like, what? Because really, the XL, it was a platform for us to bring tool changing to the masses. And to some of you, I've already told that XL is staying this platform for us to introduce crazy new technologies you've never heard of or never imagined to the 3D printing masses. And today is one of those days. What you saw is incredible. When I first saw the machine which squirted that piece of silicone which was smeared on the bed, I was like, holy, how did I never thought about this before? But today is the day, and the technology by itself is groundbreaking and would warrant Keynote like this by itself. But the fact it is on the XL is bringing it so many levels higher because it's on the XL. when we are talking about silicon. And unlimited sure numbers of softness or hardness. We can have at least 5 of these in the same print. Or for the first time ever, we could combine FDM and silicon printing at the same time. And I'm not going to... Please hold me back from spoiling the next show we are having next month. I would love to invite on the stage Eran, CEO of Filament 2, so we can tell you all the details.
Hi, hello everyone.
Las condensed.
Yeah, I'm quite excited to be here, actually. Ask me anything.
So
What do you want to know?
does this visualization checks out how it feels to be fully immersed in silicone?
Well, it's amazing. And after this show, you can see it in live outside. The first silicon 3D printing XL printing silicon, not TPU or flexible materials, as we all know for years, but real silicon, heat resistant, 100%.
When did the idea of 3D printing silicone came up?
Well, it's actually a funny story. It didn't start with the silicone. It started with my daughter asking to print her candy on our Prusa printer. And I told her, yeah, sure, I will just print, make a sugar filament right away and print you a candy. And later on, I thought, what if we can make a filament which is not plastic? Different type of filaments.
Before we dive into that, how does it work? What do you need to print silicone?
Well, first you need Prusa machine. You need the XL, then extruder. This is the only printer in the world that is capable of printing easily, just using the PrusaSlicer, slice the silicone and print silicone.
I have to jump into the presentation and go outside of the slides. As I said, when I saw for the first time how it is done, I was like, how did I not think about this? It is not just for the silicone. You can do any liquid or all of those materials which could not be made into a filament. Like 99% of those can be made printable with the technology you guys have. So don't be shy.
Yeah.
Tell us all about it.
Yeah, think about epoxies. Think about polyurethane. Think about any paste material that you can come up with. We can now print it on an XL machine with an extruder and a PrusaSlicer. This is a new groundbreaking technology that we bring you today.
And here you really can see it, but I think you will get it for the first time when you see it downstairs after this. Really, it is a liquid filament. In this case, it is 2 spools because the silicone has 2 parts, and I don't want to spoil everything. We have the same amount of precision of the precision control as we do with FDM with a liquid filament. Really, it is magic.
Joe likes to talk about liquid filament, but all he can think about is printing chocolate.
Actually, we made chocolate filament.
It's coming. What other materials can you print?
Well, I've heard about chocolate, but I've never got to taste chocolate print from you.
Yeah.
But
So I think that the next material that will come up with is a polyurethane. Later on, we're thinking about industrial epoxies because no other material can withstand those properties, have those properties, because it's thermostatic. It's not thermoplastic like any material that you can currently print.
do we have anyone in this room who actually have an experience of trying to print something at least similar to silicone? Raise your hand. Oh, I knew it would be you, but we can have a talk later.
Yeah, when we printed some prints at the studio, we did this shot. It's Mickey's favorite because you can see how flexible and durable the material is.
But that is still not the coolest thing. With the technology these guys have, there are no limits what materials we can print. It doesn't have to be silicone. It can be really everything which cannot be made into a filament we normally print.
You know that when I printed the first part of silicon, I didn't believe that it really is a silicon, even though I printed it. So I took the part and put it inside the 200 Celsius degree oven.
And I knew that I will forget something to say from the list, from the timetable. Yeah, and there's one little thing. The cheapest other option is at least 20 times more expensive than the tool hat you can buy for the XL soon. 20 times more expensive is the cheapest other option. It's crazy.
No need for an industrial printer. All you need is Prusa XL.
Yeah. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
There's already a universe of applications waiting there. We can only imagine what the community will do with it because community always thinks of things even the creators of Filament 2 wouldn't dream of. So
I will jump into it again because, before we put it on the XL, still it was groundbreaking. But the coolest thing ever is by doing it on the XL, it doesn't mean that XL can print one silicone. It means that if you want, you can have 5 silicones, 2-part silicones, each completely different shore hardnesses. Or you can combine traditional FDM with a silicone. It is mind-boggling. That was never, ever even remotely possible before. So I would love to use this opportunity to ask all the crazy people like you who raised the hand to think of the impossible, and we will make it happen.
more info coming soon, of course. And for those of you who are visiting Formnext, Iran will be there and he will show you some cool behind the scenes stuff. And yeah, I think that's it. We've almost reached the end, and allow me please to invite everybody on the stage because we're gonna do some stargazing.
Well, you guys did fill in the blank spots in the Prusa universe. I would like to thank all of you guys, and I really think that we should all pick up theater classes after this, because hour and a half of a show I'm so proud of. Not only you, but my whole company and my whole team is amazing.
Thank you, Joe. So yeah, we kind of filled in the blanks. We showed you the Prusa Signature Oak. We showed you the OpenPrintTag, the liquid filament. We unwheeled the Prusa Core 1L, and we kind of teased you with the PrusaSlicer free. And I can see a lot of excitement in the room. That's absolutely great, but hate to spoil the show, but gentle reminder, please do not share anything before October 21st, 1500 CET. And
31st.
31st, sorry. Just, to make you feel better, this is how every one of us at Prusa Research feels every day. We cannot tell you anything.
Are you sure? The thing why we are thinking about this so much, because we have so much stuff to talk about that we had to split into shows. I don't want to spoil anything, but for those of you who come to Formnext, I would love me personally to invite you to Formnext. We have some more cool stuff. We need to stop now if we want to be able to show you guys the machines we talked about downstairs. But I really want to give a huge shout out to everyone.
Thank you. Thank you all for coming.
And not just the four of us, but really 1,300 members of my team. I'm super proud.